Are you finding it challenging to create a balanced, effective training program for your team? How can you incorporate formal, social, and experiential learning in a way that truly enhances workplace performance? Welcome back. Today we're delving into the 70-20-10 training model, a powerful framework for creating comprehensive training programs. This is not a perfect model. I don't personally agree that 70-20-10 is the exact ratios, but the model is really sound when we think about how do people go from novice employee or novice person in the workplace to experienced practitioner. So, this model divides learning into three categories: 70% experiential, 20% social, and 10% formal. I've always wanted to flip this on my head and go, it starts with 10% formal, 20% social, and 70% experiential. But that's not how it was written. It was 70-20-10. But we'll draw some diagrams for you and we'll take you through that. We'll also discuss how the Experience API, this new standard in e-learning, can be leveraged to enhance each of these areas in your organisational record keeping. So let's start with formal learning. Formal learning constitutes about 10% of the 70-20-10 model, thus the 10%, and includes structured training like courses, workshops, and e-learning modules. XAPI can significantly enhance formal learning by tracking detailed data on the learning interactions. So this is simple. Inside your courses, for example, XAPI can capture data on how the user navigated through the e-learning course, what content they engaged with, and their assessment results. It can even go into the level of detail of what response did they answer each time. So if they had 3 attempts, you can actually see that they answered response A, B, and C, and then got it right on the 4th attempt with D. This data can help you tailor your future training programs to address gaps and sort of reinforce strengths. Social learning. So social learning makes up that 20% in the middle. It's that transition from formal learning to workplace practitioner, and it involves learning through mentoring, coaching, peer discussions. Interestingly, the traditional thinking is that XAPI can track social learning activities by monitoring interactions in forums, discussion groups, and in collaboration tools. I kind of think you can actually take XAPI further and actually record on-the-job mentoring, social sort of interactions between people. It'd be very easy to develop a little app that sort of says, Greg coached Bob today. There was a 20-minute sort of thing where I actually taught them a bit of welding, or I just supervised them doing some assembly sort of task in the workplace or nursing task. And those little interactions, I think, are the critical part of learning. And I'll do another video later for you on that. But mentoring, I think, is the gem. So XAPI in this social learning can record those discussion forums, as we said, but it can also record that 2 people just worked together. So Greg mentored, Greg supervised, Greg tracked a bit of workplace performance and gave some feedback. Not hard to do, and I think XAPI would be a really valuable tool for capturing that. So this allows organisations to identify effective mentors and common discussion topics that may need further formal training. The final part of this sort of plan or this model is experiential learning, and it is the largest component. It accounts for 70% of the model, and it involves learning through hands-on experience and, importantly, problem solving. If we think about how people learn, experiential stuff is how we get mastery. So again, XAPI shines in this area by capturing real-time performance data from a variety of sources. So you're not recording so much what they did, like Greg was welding today. You're recording how many things Greg welded today, how many meters of wire. They're the sort of workplace performance things that are really good examples. So another one is in a corporate setting, XAPI can collect data from project management tools, recording how employees solved problems and how they made decisions. XAPI came out of the American Defence Force. So in a military context, XAPI can track performance-driven training exercises or simulations, providing a comprehensive view of how skills are applied in the field. To illustrate, let's consider a scenario in a corporate environment implementing the 70-20-10 training model. Using XAPI, the company tracks an employee's progress through an e-learning module, like formal learning, their participation in a peer discussion forum, that's the social learning, and their performance on a live project, so that's the experientials. By analysing this data, the company can identify which areas the employee excels in and where they might need additional support, creating a more personalised and effective training experience. Think about how you might apply the 70-20 training model in your organisation and add XAPI to that. Start by integrating XAPI to track formal learning activities. That's easy. So you just publish your courses in your LMS to the XAPI standard And by default, you'll start getting all this information. Then you might think about social interactions. How can I record those as XAPI statements in my organization? And then finally, real world performance. So that might be timesheets, it might be job allocation tasks. Have a look around your organization and see how could I easily collect some information about somebody's formal, social and experiential learning. We'd love to hear from you, by the way, and how you might use that tool and these thinking in your organization. So please share your experiences and insights in the comments below. We'd love to read them. And as always, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more, then subscribe. And if you have a friend you think would enjoy this, then please use the share button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.